Hey, this is Grown and Healthy, the channel where we explore self-improvement through movement. And in today's video, I'm going to explain how we engage in the final aspect of the gait cycle, toe off. So in previous videos, we explained the earlier functions of the gait cycle, such as the initial lunge forward, the dorsiflexion of the ankle, and the determination of the angle, determining how fast, how far our stride length will be. And now we're going to go to the end portion of that cycle, which is now the toe off. And the toe off is engaged by using the Windlass Mechanism, which is a reflective state that we create once the leg is fully extended. The leg becomes a solid isometric held position throughout the leg and culminating at the ball of the big toe. This focus right here is where we'll be talking about today, which is the primary engine behind propelling forward. Now, with sprinters, you will see them using the Windlass Mechanism. Especially, it is most evident in the jump from the blocks, in which they're digging down into the ground and they are engaging, pushing up to 6 times their body weight into the ground. That's a lot of force. That is more than most people have ever lifted. And at every stride, when used properly and at a steep angle to recover more ground and to move faster, you are stepping back, engaging this Windlass Mechanism. And this gives you a myriad of benefits over the heel strike, in which we are just heeling, cambering, heeling, cambering. And this lazy kick forward has become so ingrained in our mechanics that we now have the distended lower abdomen, the weak hip flexors, because we're no longer engaging and lifting the leg from the hips. And we're also finding dysfunction in the lower back and an engagement of the glutes. Because of conventional shoes, there is not much freedom for the toes to engage in their natural movement. The thickness and the camber of the bottom disconnects the neural connection between actively using the toes and engaging in an efficient walking manner. Now, when wearing barefoot shoes, because of the flexibility, the lightness, the thinness of the sole, you are now going to be able to engage in the Windlass Mechanism, because you'll be able to put your toes into flexion. This will alleviate a lot of other problems that you are probably having, such as plantar fasciitis, which is very common because the toes aren't moving. And now that they're getting a chance, you will be flexing the plantar fascia with every step. The pressure will be taken up by the big toe. All the toes should be in a flexion state, in a flex state, all the toes. And in fact, we're doing that because we're trying to give balance to the whole foot. This keeps our balance, right? Instead of us just thinking of pushing down on the big toe, which is good as long as the other toes have contact. You want contact throughout all the toes, pushing forward. Now, when it comes to actually engaging the toes in the toe off, we are not trying to grip the ground as much as use the toes as a lever. A good gait cycle is determined by rhythm. You will find that when you are in rhythm, that your gait is more fluid. And again, we're trying to ingrain this pattern of fluidity. And a great way is to think of this cue as if you're pushing a cart as you walk, and you'll see that you'll already create the ankle dorsiflexion and engage in that toe off to push that cart forward. Now, you could start off by just using a wall, but it doesn't help you develop that rhythm. So if you can, just put the hands out in front. Already you can see by me putting the hands up that my hips have already come into better alignment, and then we're pushing forward. You can also consider peeling your heel off of the ground, if that helps. But if your Achilles has ever suffered any injury or pain, refrain from using that cue and stick with just pushing the cart. Now, if you can start developing that rhythm, you'll find that the foot just reflexively will engage without much pressure or exertion from you at all. Yes, heel striking can be done, but it is not optimal. So to give you an understanding of what the leg extension should look like and how important the glutes are, I will perform a very famous exercise, the ATG split squat from knees over toes guy, in which by creating and going into this position, I'm able at the lowest part to extend my glutes. Showing that the extension of the glutes is key to engaging the windlass mechanism. And why wouldn't you want to use a reflexive action to perform walking when it will make your life so much easier? That is how the glutes prefer to engage, to actually be used in extension. That is why we have them, to keep us upright by keeping the pelvis stabilized in concert with the hip flexors. Now, if I were to just sit back and take the extreme of the heel strike, which is to go forward, right? So we're gonna heel strike forward, and then I'm gonna come back on to the rear leg. And how do you perceive that this extreme method would then help me to walk forward? It's doing everything to push me backwards. At the least, I can only hold this isometric position. And yes, I can go backwards. And so it's great if I wanted to walk backwards, but for walking forwards, this test of extremes shows you that when taken to the limit, that there is no meaningful way, or there is no meaningful reason to actually be using the heel strike. I would have to jump forward. And even then, how would I do that? As opposed to getting into an ATG split squat, kicking up that leg, engaging the windlass mechanism. So at its extreme, you can see what actually is a function for propulsion or what is for deceleration or going in reverse. So I hope this has helped you in regards to the toe off. Remember, if you suffer from plantar fasciitis, any other malady in the foot and the ankle, all the way up to your hips, this can be from conventional shoes. None of these aspects of walking that I'm telling you will be of any help to you if you're wearing conventional shoes. There is not enough flexibility in those shoes in order for you to engage your full functional potential. All right, guys, this has been Grown and Healthy, the channel where we explore self-improvement through movement. Thanks for watching.